So recently, Sony overhauled their whole TV and soundbar lineup, and their new soundbars are smaller and sleeker than their predecessors, and they have much better openness, and they do a much better job of breaking people's voices out. Now, Sony soundbars work with any TV out there, but they work best with a Sony TV, especially if it has acoustic center sync like either the Bravia 9, Bravia 8, Bravia 7, or the X90L. Nonetheless, if you're looking for a new soundbar to complement your new Sony TV, here are the performance differences between the Bravia Theater Quad, the Bar 8, and the Bar 9. Now, all of these systems are self-contained systems, as in they don't have an external subwoofer because they all produce their own bass, which can be good depending on your setup. But with all of these systems, you can always add an external subwoofer from Sony, like either the SW3 or the SW5, and with either the Bar 9 or Bar 8, you can also add rear satellite speakers like either the RS3s or the RS5s. Now, in this video, we're going to see how these systems perform by themselves, but while connected to a Sony X90L, which has acoustic center sync, because with acoustic center sync, your TV's built-in speakers will work in conjunction with your soundbar, and it's going to give you a stronger center channel. But we're also going to see how these systems perform when they're fully built out with the SW5 subwoofer, and with both the Bar 9 and Bar 8, we're also going to add the RS5 rear satellite speakers, because with the Quad, you can't add an extra pair of rear speakers, even though I think that would be pretty cool. Nonetheless, if you want to pick any of these products up, they'll be linked down below, or you can always press on the YouTube shopping button.
And if you want to further support the channel, pick up some merch. We have trucker hats, snapbacks, and shirts, and everything is printed on higher quality products, so they're gonna last you a good while. And by buying merch, that helps us produce more independent versus videos. Thank you to everyone who's bought a shirt or a hat, and let's get subscribed.
So first, there's the design of these systems. Now, all of these systems have a very minimal design to them, and they have a mostly fabric wrap body, which doesn't reflect any light. So all of these systems do a great job of simply disappearing. However, I do have to point out that the Quad only comes in gray and the bars only come in black. Now, the soundbars are much sleeker than their predecessors. They both have a height of 2.5 inches, and they both have a thickness of 4.5 inches. But when it comes to length, the Bar 9 is 51 inches long, whereas the Bar 8 is 43.5 inches long. And they weigh in at a little over 12 pounds and 10.5 pounds respectively. Whereas with the Quad, you get 4 individual speakers that are 11.5 inches by 11 inches, and they're 2.25 inches thick. And there's also the wireless transmitter that connects to your TV and wirelessly connects to all 4 speakers. And if done right, you'll actually forget that this thing even exists, like I almost just did. And with the Quad, you have a lot of flexibility as where you can place these speakers, but each speaker does have their designated channel. Now, with the Quad, you can place all of these speakers on your tables because they all have a built-in stand, just like the bars. Or with all of these systems, you can always wall mount them because the bars come included with a wall mounting kit, and the stands on the Quad also double for wall mounting. The only thing that I feel that you should be ready for is that with the Quad, you're gonna have a total of 5 different units that you're gonna have to wire to power. Whereas with the bars, you only have 1 plug to worry about if you don't plan on building these soundbars out. Now, when it comes to ports, things are very similar here. All of these systems have a single HDMI out and a single HDMI input, and we have 8K HDR, but more importantly, we have 4K at 120 support. And we also have our audio cable input for acoustic center sync, and that's pretty much it. There are no optical inputs here, and there are no other analog inputs either. However, the Quad's base does have an Ethernet port, whereas the bars don't. But when it comes to general connectivity, these systems have support for both AirPlay 2 and Chromecast. So whether you're an iPhone user or an Android user, if you're connected to the same Wi-Fi network as these systems, then you can always just stream music to them. Or these systems also have Bluetooth support, so you can always share these systems without having to share your Wi-Fi password. Now, these systems are also using Sony's new Bravia Connect app, and I feel that this is very important because this app is a lot nicer and sleeker than Sony's previous Music Center app. And from here, you can do things like adjust the settings of this system, you can adjust the sound of the system, and you can also go through the calibration process. And this calibration process has also been updated because it now uses your phone's built-in microphone, and you can also calibrate the system for where people are going to be sitting in the room. Overall, this app is a lot nicer and sleeker than before, and connectivity is much more stable. But also, if you use this system with a Sony TV, then you might not have to use this app all that much because you can very easily and quickly adjust the sound of this system from the TV itself. And personally, I really like this because if I'm gonna watch an action movie, then I'm gonna want to crank the bass up. But if I'm gonna watch the game, then I don't want all that much bass, but I want the rear speakers cranked all the way up. But with all that out of the way, let's talk about sound. Regarding speaker setup, the Bar 8 has a total of 8 speakers. 4 that shoot out the front, 2 that shoot out the sides, and 2 that shoot upwards, which are going to give you that verticality effect and for your Dolby Atmos. And we have a total of 3 front-mount firing tweeters. Now, the Bar 9 also has a total of 8 speakers, 4 that shoot out the front, 2 that shoot out the sides, and 2 that shoot upwards. And the Bar 9 has a total of 3 front-mount firing tweeters as well. But what makes the Bar 9 different from the Bar 8 is that it also has dual beam forming tweeters that shoot out the sides, and it has dual passive radiators for more kick in your bass. Whereas with the Quad, each speaker has a front-mount firing woofer for the bass with an exhaust port that shoots out the bottom. They all have a front-mount firing mid-range driver for the mids, and they have a front-mount firing tweeter for the highs, and they all have an upward firing driver for your verticality and Dolby Atmos. Now, like I mentioned earlier, all of these systems are self-contained systems, as in they don't need an external subwoofer, but if you want, you can always add an external subwoofer from Sony to any of these systems, and you can also add rear satellite speakers to either the Bar 9 or Bar 8. And with all of these systems, if you use them with a compatible Sony TV, then you can use acoustic center sync, where your TV's built-in speakers will work in conjunction with your soundbar or quad, and is going to give you a stronger center channel. But now we're going to go ahead and jump into the sound test. All of these systems are going to be playing at 60% volume, and they're all using acoustic center sync with our Sony X90L TV. We're also going to be using these systems with the SW5 subwoofer set to 5 and the RS5s set to max, and we're also going to be using the Sony X90L's built-in speakers set to max.
Come on, Mike, slow down. We are late. My stomach, Mike. I need a ginger ale.
Get a ginger ale and nothing else.
Are those dogs fresh? Put them in yesterday. Give me one. Yeah, there you go. Everybody register. Stay right there.
That Skittles on the counter, Marcus?
This ain't mine, Mike.
Yes, it is.
Mind your business. Get your towel thrown in there.
Marcus, get in the car.
He has a gun to my head.
Want to deal with him? You want to deal with me?
Call 911.
Aren't you the police?
And Reggie, you need my snacks?
No, sir.
You need to get a job.
I'm a U.S. Marine, sir.
But then you need to deploy.
Dad, look.
We now have evidence that the late Captain Conrad Howard of Miami PD was working with drug cartels for years.
Captain Howard's being framed.
What the hell?
He's texting us from the other
I
side.
know he's not, Marcus. If he's seen this, I'm probably dead.
I don't know how high up this goes, but I don't trust anything.
You should be careful. You're being set up, detectives.
We got 2 suspects, Lowry and Burnett. They're armed and dangerous.
In 5, 4.
Y'all are some terrible fugitives.
I need nasty Mike. Bad boy. I got this. What you gonna do?
Are y'all stealing our clothes?
Just because we black, we still in your... What? Look at your shirt.
Why don't you sing us a little Reba song?
Reba.
Sing your favorite.
I'm a woman. I'm a strong black woman.
Cause she not black. What you gonna do? What you gonna...
That ain't no Reba song.
It's from her mixtape.
You should probably know that I have a really dark and unpredictable side to me. Stop speaking. I'm giving you a chance, sweetie.
Say when?
When?
What are you?
We are.
No. Yeah, we.
Venom. You're gonna need to work on that.
Delicious! You take me to all the finest places.
I didn't tell him about.
We always knew it was impossible. That we were alone in the universe. And it's our job to make sure that remains a secret.
Let's go get him.
Oh, shit! We are fugitives. On the run, in the shit.
You're living the dream, my friend. There has to be a reason they're after us.
Eddie, my own, has found us.
It's an army coming that cannot be beaten.
As long as they're blessed, everyone, everything will end.
You may not make it out of this alive, buddy.
Eddie, the time has come.
Be honest with me. How fast do you think you can get that thing to go without killing it?
Only one way to find out.
You made me realize that you're the only one. Don't need to tell me what the future holds. Oh, I'll be fine, 'cause we'll be ending soon. So you can let your hair down. I'll hide all the worries away, and we don't have to go down. I wish I could live this life on replay. I'll put your love on top
So first off, your TV most likely just has a pair of downward firing speakers that bounce sound off of the table. They don't get all that loud, and at higher volumes, the bass becomes a rattling mess. And since TVs are getting slimmer and slimmer, these speakers need to get smaller and smaller. However, if you have a more premium TV, like the Sony X90L like we're using today, the built-in speakers on this TV sound and perform better. The bass doesn't get as distorted and they get decently loud. However, the built-in speakers on this TV are going to be better suited for listening to dialogue with, and if you want to get a better movie watching experience, then you do want to invest in a soundbar at least. So first, we have to talk about the max volume performance on these systems. Simply said, the Quad gets significantly louder than both the Bar 9 and Bar 8. Now, don't get me wrong, both the Bar 9 and Bar 8 get more than loud enough to fill a large room with sound. However, I am shocked to see just how much louder the Quad gets than these other two soundbars. The Quad is basically in a different league. Now, when it comes to the physicality in the bass on these systems, I kind of feel that the kick in the bass on both the Quad and Bar 9 are very close. All of the speakers on the Quad has a downward firing exhaust port, which helps amplify your bass if they're sitting on the table. Plus, you have that bass coming at you from the front and rear. Whereas with the Bar 9, it also has a good kick in the bass thanks to the built-in passive radiators, but the bass is only coming from the front. So from an immersiveness standpoint, the Quad also has the best bass here. And then there's the Bar 8. Now with the Bar 8, you can still feel what's happening on the screen, but the bass is lacking compared to both the Bar 9 and especially the Quad. But the main selling point of Sony's new generation of soundbars is instrument separation and openness, and without a doubt I can say that both the Bar 9 and Bar 8 sound a lot more open than their predecessors, the HTA 5000 and the HTA 7000. However, when comparing the openness between the Bar 9 and Bar 8, the Bar 9 does a very good job of throwing sounds behind and around you thanks to those side shooting beam forming tweeters. The Bar 9 does a really good job of fooling you into thinking that there are rear speakers when there aren't. But then there's the Quad, and the Quad simply sounds a lot more open than the Bar 9 because you can physically place these speakers farther away from one another, and you also get those rear satellite speakers by default. And keep in mind, with all of these systems, if you're using acoustic center sync, then the center channel is being handled by your TV's built-in speakers. But then if we fully build out these systems, again, the Quad is going to get noticeably louder than both the Bar 9 and Bar 8, even if they have the help from the RS5s, and the Quad is still going to sound more open than either a fully built out Bar 9 or Bar 8, because you can physically place the two front speakers farther away from one another, and even though the RS5s are powerful in their own right, the Quad's rear speakers are just more powerful. However, just keep in mind that with all of these systems, if you use them with an external subwoofer like the SW5, like we did here, then all of the bass is going to be handled by the subwoofer, meaning that the passive radiators in the Bar 9 are going to be deactivated and the Quad speakers aren't going to have as much bass. So with all of that being said, all of these systems can be used with any TV out there. However, these systems work best when used with a Sony TV with acoustic center sync, because your TV's built-in speakers will work in conjunction with your soundbar and is going to give you a stronger center channel. Now, if you want the best overall experience, the Bravia Theater Quad is not just going to give you the best openness and immersiveness because you have those 4 separate speakers, you're also going to get better bass by default, and surprisingly, the Quad gets significantly louder than either the Bar 9 or Bar 8. But if you want a more affordable solution or a simpler solution, because with the Quad you're going to have to power 5 units, then you might want to go with the Bar 9, because the Bar 9 has almost as much bass as the Quad, and the beam-forming tweeters do a great job of fooling you into thinking that you have rear speakers. But if you plan on having a fully built out system with front and rear speakers and an external subwoofer, then you still want to go with the Quad because the Quad is still going to give you the better openness. But if you're trying to choose between the Bar 9 and Bar 8, I think you should go with the Bar 8 because if you use these systems with an external sub, then all of the bass is going to be handled by the sub, and having rear speakers are better than those beam-forming tweeters that bounce sound off of the walls like with on the Bar 9.
If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.